Hi everybody, just doing a little bit of a live update. So I'm doing a bit of a tech check as well. I want to get a little bit more personal. I do a lot of interviews and things, and people have reached out and said, "We want to know more about you." And I'm like, well, that's funny because I actually started off this channel with basically me wanting to create tutorials and create share insights and experiences for those who are looking for um, whatever it is that they may take value from that I offer. So I'm just going to hang out here for a little bit. I've still got a bit of tea left. It's good stuff, eh? And yeah, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone as well for helping me get over the line to 500 subs on YouTube. I'm so grateful. Thank you. And as promised, there is a song, and I'll be dropping it in the next bunch of days, all things going well. And yeah, it's funny, like watching the subs fluctuate. I just shared an upcoming live stream with that we're going to be doing with Mark and Bob on the topic of moral relativism, which I know is can be a bit of a controversial topic, but yeah, it was interesting to note that some of the subs dropped, so can't do much about that. Keeping it real here. I feel it's an important conversation. And I just wanted to say, too, the reason I reached out to Bob and Mark to talk about this, obviously I feel that they are good people to have a conversation with about this topic. What prompted me to reach out to them is that there's a very well-known YouTuber who reviews movies and games and these types of things called The Critical Drinker. And his stuff's so good. His articulation of his understanding is excellent. Regardless of the topic that he's talking about, he has a way of. I prefer his live panel stuff when he's not drunk, personally, because he's just, when you're in conversation and dialogue with others. That's one of the reasons I do my live streams, the way I do them with others, because some of the best stuff comes out during conversation. But he was talking about the recent Disney series called The Acolyte, which is receiving very mixed reviews, obviously, because of a number of things. But essentially, he brought up he mentioned the phrase moral relativism. And, you don't really hear that on the street. You kind of like, has anyone, like there's three people on now. Have you guys heard of moral relativism, right? And so essentially it kind of means that, just do whatever you want. There's no real right and wrong. There's no real consequences, which if you're a metaphysician or into spiritual practices and you are aware of things like cause and effect and karma, there's certain things you don't do, right? Because if you're a dick, dick things are going to happen to you essentially. These things spin around. Now, yeah, so anyway, I'm not going to go too much into it because we're going to talk about it on Monday lunchtime, New Zealand time, and I think it's 8 p.m. New York time. So I'm really looking forward to that because, they've both got such a great depth of knowledge and, he's traveled a lot of the world and has a lot of personal experience as well. So what's going on there? And yeah, really looking forward to that. So what else is coming up? So yeah, like I said, I just wanted to do a little bit of just an impromptu live because I'm playing with the new software and I'm also using the OBS and that. So that's coming up on Monday with Mike and Bob, New Zealand time. And then I've also just shared hopefully this will work out cool. I've got Dr. Richard Allen Miller, who I used to interview years ago. He's a good dude, pretty zany guy, pretty wild, lots of life experience, written a stack of books. One of the reasons I like Rick's stuff is that he comes at things from both a magical and a physics point of view because he's a physicist as well as a Hermetic Kabbalist magician, etc. He's got many feathers in his cap as far as his life experience goes, and so yeah, and it's just good fun. It's good fun to hang out with him. I'm sure that, you know, when we get him on, he starts talking, there'll be lots of questions in the audience. He's done a lot of travel and seen a lot of things, and you know, I'm happy to have him on. And you know, it's up to you whether you go, is this guy for real? But you definitely want to go check his website out, richardallenmiller.com. I've put it in the YouTube description of the upcoming live. The other one coming up is I've just confirmed the next episode of The Bard Inn, which will be on the 18th, New Zealand, which will be the 17th, pretty much everywhere else. So it'll be the morning, and I'm doing a super early one. I'm going to see how that goes. I'm going to start at about 8 a.m. New Zealand on a Sunday. Sweet as. And this will hopefully be able to help out some of the other time zones like the UK, Europe, and that. So everyone can jump in, and you know, because it's pretty late. Any earlier than that for me, it's a bit of a struggle. But yeah, I'll do it for you guys. All right. So I've got Clint and Philip, Clint Sabine and Philip Harris Smith confirmed, and I'm just waiting for any others who are interested. So that'll be fun. So that's the Bard Inn, episode 7 coming up on the 18th, and that'll be good to go. And wow, and I have to say, one that I have been looking forward to for a while is this connection with Mr. Martin Foulkes, and yeah, really looking forward to this. Another very well-traveled, eloquent speaker, good articulator, great articulator, scholarly man, so much knowledge and you know, hands-on experience. You know, I would refer to him as a bit of a meditation guru, martial arts, Tai Chi, Memory Palace. Oh my gosh. So really looking forward to connecting with Martin. We're going to talk about his recent, he shared something on his Facebook, I think, recently about this. Basically, his you know, his solar age or his calendar age. I think he's the same age as me. I think he's about 46, 47, somewhere around there. But his actual, like, I can't remember what it's called. There was a special name for it, but his actual physical age, as it's calculated through certain markers, is actually a lot younger. And he's been doing these practices, and I get a bit of commentary. People go, "Man, you're looking younger every time I see you, Phil." And I'm like, "Thank you." You know, like I got to say, the practices, the qigong, and the exercise, and the food choices, these things all matter. And so, yeah, really looking forward to connecting with Martin, and yeah, we're going to talk about that. And I just love him. He's so positive and so upbeat, and you know, and a forward thinker as well. So that's going to be heaps of fun. And of course, yes, I've got the song that I'm writing as well, slowly chipping away. I've got a big list of things I need to get through. And I just want to say to, there's a couple of people who have reached out to me. One was a couple of years ago. And you know who you are, Jay. I'll just leave it at that. You sent me through an interview request. I've got that on my list. That's the first interview I'm going to do. And then another one more recently from the lovely T. I'm not going to give it away because I'll do it once I get through it. That's the next interview that I'm going to do on the list. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do them by text or by video yet. I have to say, video's an easy way for me because I can just jump on, press the go button, and talk it out. So yeah, I'll probably run through a video thing, but I'll keep you posted on that. Now, what else was I going to talk about? Yeah, I think I want to just talk about the general sort of direction of the channel as well, because I'm not sure how much time I can realistically put into this channel. And just bear with me for a moment. I've discovered, because I've been so busy lately doing things, setting things up, you know, there's, what are you doing? You're reaching out to people, right, for interviews. You're making sure time zones are correct. You know, I'm a pretty meticulous planner, and I go through it. I sometimes go a bit over the top with my details and that with my guests and that, but I like things to be very clear, and I'm working on being concise. But I've realized my personal capacities for creating content, and I'll even say it like this: I'm starting to discover my personal capacities for screen time. And I'm thinking about, because different types of interactions with the computer certainly have different effects that I've noticed. And I have other things in my life as well that are, that are so close to my heart and call at me that I haven't been spending as much time with them as I would like. And so I'm just sort of just finding a balance with what I'm going to do for this channel. And I've looked to other creators as well. I'm talking with other creators and just getting a sense of, what are some good sort of, I guess, habits. And I'm not really a schedule guy, even though I'm meticulous and I'm scheduling live streams. I'm a free spirit. I just love, I'll just jump on like I'm doing now. I kind of miss doing this type of thing. But as far as like booking lots of things and organizing my time, it's great to book things, to have to show up, especially because I love, serving the community. So I've got plenty of stuff lined up, but just in a nutshell, I will say that the live streams, the Barred In, will likely be a monthly event. There wasn't one so much last month, but we've got one booked for this month. Bunch of reasons. Organizing lots of people. It's actually not too hard because I've got a special group chat. I just say, hey, who's available? If anything, and then of course, I make a list of topics, and then we generally defer to the audience questions because it's really about audience engagement, and also promoting the guests as well. And I have, I've befriended and connected with some of the most amazing people. And I have to say, the Barred In it certainly hints at being a more Franz Barden oriented sort of like conversation, but it has got depth and width beyond that as well. It's got, scope beyond that's probably a better way of putting it. Mainly with the work of Mark Rasmus as well, who's obviously a modern translator of Barden, and also Qigong, Tai Chi, martial arts, Hermetics, Kabbalah. So I'm just, hello, Mr. Anderson. Thank you so much. Yes, I see your message there. So I'm going to be just plotting some things out. And there's also people who are in other time zones that can't make that early morning session, because I look at my analytics to see when the majority of my audience, which is actually the largest part, which is the United States, when they're actually online. So that's how I've decided when my live streams are, is that I want to, obviously, if I'm going to do live streams, you want people being able to show up. And so you kind of go, well, YouTube tells you when your audience is online, and pretty much from lunchtime onwards here in New Zealand, it's a bit quiet. I mean, so apart from the New Zealand audience, but as the channel grows, then I'll be able to do more sort of streams throughout the day. But I have a bunch of people that I really want to get back on again for another panel discussion. I did one, I think it was on the solstice. It was a Sunday evening, and that's fine too. They're really cool people, and they are also, they're from from Aussie and Southeast Asia and the Netherlands and that. And so I will certainly, get that rocking too. But the main Barred In will generally be on a New Zealand Sunday morning once a month. And I think as far as the Saturday morning sort of, the wizard hangouts go, I'll probably do those just as they happen, sort of thing. I'm still kind of figuring out the best way to do this, because sometimes I like to go and do things on a Saturday morning. Like we have a market up the road in my local village here. It can be a lot of fun to go, and I've got friends that go up there and play guitar and sing and that. And I might even go up there and do that. So I'm not going to say, every Saturday there's going to be a live stream, but I'll give people plenty of advance warning. And I kind of like this organic approach. I like having the channel run how I like having the channel run. And like I said at the beginning of this conversation, I started off uploading some tutorials and things like that. And then hello there. Thank you for your message. I found that, I ended up getting back into doing interviews and these things, and which is fine because I love it. And, and it's a great community service. Oh, yes. Here's something else. So some of you may have noticed that I've been dropping some regular videos of clips of the Barred In based on a question. So basically, I have a list of topics or the audience questions pop up during the live panel. And then afterwards, I'll download that video and then I'll chop it up and put a front and a back on it. And then I'll upload that with a thumb with a nice, easy to read sort of topic that can be searched for. And so essentially, this is like a library of searchable topics, because YouTube really is that, isn't it? It's like a, what do you call it? It's a search engine for videos, really, isn't it? So it's like a Google. So I'm going to keep doing that. I've got plenty of stuff to work with. That's really cool, actually, to build up that community resource. And I've got a playlist that you guys can go and check out. It's on the if you go to the YouTube channel homepage and you look up that, if you scroll down to playlist there, you'll see, I think it's called the Barred In Clips or TBI Clips. And you'll see that there's a growing list. I think there's maybe 12 or 13 videos there at the moment of topical sorts of, basically I ask a question. We have some of the best teachers and content creators, authors, and so on, who then each take a turn in answering the question. And so, as far as like sort of an aggregate form of Q&A goes, it's so much fun. They're so cool people, and there's certainly more people out in the community that I want to connect with too. I've got to say, sometimes I can feel a little bit overwhelmed by the amount of work and people that I take on and work with in that, because I do put my hand up a bit and sign up for things and then go, oh my gosh, I've got so much to do. And I've got other things in my life I need to organize. And as hermeticists, obviously, we pride ourselves on, I do, on being organized and, keeping that nice sweet spot of equilibrium so that we are, optimizing our walk. And yeah, so, but outside of that, that's pretty much it. I'll keep it short at that 20-minute mark here. I just wanted to say too, man, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for all of you that have subscribed and shared, liked, commented, and a big thank you to all of you guys who have been putting a couple of bucks in either the PayPal or joining the Substack. The Substack, oh man, no ads. You can turn it off and still listen to it. YouTube, stop being a bunch of stink guys and add that feature to your app. So you can basically watch a video on Substack like this one. I don't know if this one will make it. Maybe I'll put it on there. And then you can flick it onto podcast version, which is just audio. So you can actually, save your money if you're out on the road, if you're on a mobile data plan. But I just want to say a big thanks to everyone that's been, putting a couple of bucks in. And, thank you, Freda Spiraverius. It's lovely to see you too, sir. I may be wrong there. I'll just say thank you, Freda. And, it's very helpful to have some income because I'm self-employed. I'm an entrepreneur, and so I'm looking for work. I'm a Reiki teacher, which is my prime sort of like mode of operation. But this channel takes a lot of time, guys. I put a lot of thought into the graphics, into the guests, into the descriptions. I'm learning about social media. I'm trying to stay up to date with the relevant softwares. CapCut, man, that's cool. And I'm rocking check this out. I'll bring the camera over so you can see it. This is my Mac. All right. That computer is like 12 years old, guys, and it's still going strong. I'm glad that I got, the i7 quad core. I managed to clear about 60 gigs off the hard drive the other day, and that's made things so much better. But yeah, part of what I'd like to use this channel for is to assist with getting some hardware and equipment upgrades. And and also, why not help use it to contribute to quality of life with the bro needs a new pair of shoes too. I like going for runs, and the shoes starting to get a bit worn. Okay, cool, that's good. I can make some videos when I go out for a run. These types of things. I like this idea. There's lots of cool YouTubers out there that are basically just quite happy to be transparent and share their life story. My name is Phil Rice. I'm putting myself out there. I know a lot of people will use pen names and pseudonyms, and I totally respect that. But I'm just who I am. I'm a guy. I'm an ex-muso. I still play music. I can do it. It just hasn't sort of taken me like it used to. Yeah, I'm finding my way. I love, the practices. I love exploring things like metaphysics and, discovering this Barton/Rasmus/ material. I found Franz Barton through Mark Rasmus, and I'll be forever grateful. And I'm so blessed to be able to actually be in direct contact with some of Mark's ex-students or students and friends too. It's a blessing. These things are opening up for me, and I'm so pleased. And being able to share insights and things to help you with your own life. I've worked with kids and adults as a music teacher in customer support in schools. My gosh, I have a reasonable life experience sort of pool to pull from, for the benefit of the community. And this is quite a niche community, I've found. Although I have to say, some of the other YouTubers, they have, who are on this topical material, they do quite well, but they've been at it for a while. So, I'm still a bit of a newbie. But I'm growing here, and I'm just really grateful for you guys tuning in, checking out. Some of the interviews you might be like, yeah, man, that's cool. Some of them are like, yeah, and some of them are like, yeah, no, bro, and that's fine. Trying to, I don't want to spread myself too thin here, although I can cover quite a bit of topical material because I've been on this track for probably about a decade now, exploring all sorts of different topics. So I can speak to a few things, right? But I have to say, where my heart really is sharing, things to help people keep the buzz going and stay and keep positive and keep that equilibrium alive. Strategies, because essentially this is how I see it, right? And I take this a lot from being a Reiki practitioner as well, a Reiki practicer, which is, and we can pull that word Reiki out and just say, look, once you learn how to put a bubble around yourself, or even just you are naturally radiating out calmness and peacefulness and stillness, you become a node that can be very effective in helping to raise or improve the lives of those around you in your sphere of influence. And so how do we fix the world? Because the world, well, does it need fixing? I think it could do with some improving. Where I'm sitting, when I go for a walk out, and I know what's going on in my neighborhood, and I don't know what's going on in my neighborhood at the same time. But I know people, and there's nothing wrong with trying to make the world a better place, leaving it a little bit better than we found it. What they say, what kind of world are we leaving for the kids? And what kind of kids are we leaving for the world, behind for the world, right? So the clock's ticking, guys, but don't get stressed out about that. If anything, it's like, you being in a joyful, equanimous state and still being able to manage the challenges that life throws at you with, with an objective view of it's cool. Yeah, there's this thing going on, but I'm not going to let it drive my, an unhealthy sense of being, because generally speaking, people that come onto this channel are aware of the effects of, how consciousness works and how the effects of consciousness affects others and the world. We're all feeding into this much bigger thing. And, but here's the cool thing, right? So we all have different sort of levels and degrees of influence. And as you know, Hermetic practitioners, Qigong practitioners, essentially we are expanding and increasing that influence. So the width, the size of that influence bubble or sphere increases quantitatively, and then also the amount that we can influence can also be, essentially increased as well. So we can reach a wider number of people, and we can be more potent as well. And for me, after my own observations, it's legit. I'm happy with it. Fine, let's do it. Let's improve ourselves to improve the world, right? And that's everything from, like getting exercise, eating good stuff, connecting with good people, getting involved in good activities, looking for like-minded people. It's really helpful to find your tribe, guys, and find like-minded people. Fellowship, for me, has been a critical factor in my own sort of development. And I got to say, it's cool hanging out with cool people. And especially like, Hermetic Qigong practitioners and that, because when you do the partner training stuff is off the hook, man. It's one thing to be able to generate your own experiences, which is off the hook too. But when you're hanging out with people and you're having this objective physical experience of things like Fa Jin or connecting with people, touching their hands and floating them and just playing energy games and that, I think this is a dimension of life that can add a lot of, it can bring the magic back a little bit, essentially. And I think that's a worthwhile endeavor, because things are pretty glum and pretty grim. And, certain parts of the world don't look as unfavorably upon these kinds of practices as they once did. We're in a good pocket of time to start being a little bit more open about this at whatever level we feel comfortable and confident at. And I think that, especially with the restoration of things like the real Tai Chi, the real Qigong, and I'm not saying that I know the real versions, but I've explored things that were not very satisfying. And then I found bodies of teaching that really got my attention. And I found this, and I can speak confidently on my own when I talk about Reiki. I think that has become a very largely diluted practice. It is a spiritual practice, and it's a solo practice primarily. The healing side of it, that has been elevated and above the original thing. It was actually just part of the practice. But, hey, look, I'm grateful for the army of Reiki practices out there who are still searching and looking and practicing, because you can get good at these things just by doing them, just by virtue of making yourself available to people who are looking for it. And yeah, I think I just can't say enough about this body of opportunity that we've been presented with. We've got some of the best teachers. Like, things are coming out of the cupboard a little bit at the moment, like there's a real the availability and the generosity of the teachers is prevalent. I mean, the Mark Rasmus YouTube channel, if you haven't checked that out, Mark Rasmus, MarkRasmus, that channel is just chocker. Like, you don't even have to sign up for his paid stuff. You can get immense value, and he's got hundreds of videos there, and it's all relevant. And, I spent a good couple of 3 years just learning how to understand the terms and definitions. It was a whole new body of language, even after, reading and studying Kabbalah and Hermetics, but not in this sense. It was mostly philosophical armchair type stuff, which can still evoke experiences, and so anyway, just to tidy things up. Oh, here we go. I said 20. I'm up to 30. I just want to say I have some of my own content that I'm in process of planning. That's going to be, I really wanted to just go for the tip jar option on YouTube, but the reality is that I don't think that's going to be a real option. I'm going to have to make some exclusive premium type stuff. And I think that's not a bad thing, because you've got skin in the game, because you're trying to, you know, it forces you to be a lot more professional too, I think, when you're making stuff to sell. So, although maybe not. I think, you know, like one of the reasons I love Mark's channel is because the bro just sits down in a nice spot, puts the camera and the mic on, and just starts talking. And that's fine. I don't need high-end production if the quality of the teachings are good. And I got to say, thanks, Mark, for upgrading your audio quality. That was quite a few years back, but that made all the difference. Anyway, guys, I'm going to head off. And yeah, I'm going to do more of these sort of impromptu lives now that I've got the software upgrade. Thank you to Violet Flame Studios. I should have done a plug. Violet Flame Studios, who are making the game Ascension. violetflamestudios.co.nz. I'm actually just going to put a quick banner up about that now. And not that one. And where are we? 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 I don't know if I've got it on here. Here we go. Thank you to Violet Flame Studios for sponsoring the live streaming software for August. Thank you for the awesome Bard In logo as well. You really want to go and check out their website, because they've just done a massive upgrade and put heaps of new stuff up there. And they're going to be launching their Kickstarter soon. So exciting. Like, seriously, they've got a TikTok as well, where they upload a lot of, and a YouTube. So you can go and see in-game footage. And man, I tell you what, because I work with the guys at the studio, and it's literally 2 people. And when you see what these people can output, I mean, these guys are pro operators, man. And the stuff is just next level cool. Like, I've been able to play it, and I'm just getting back into mouse and keyboard playing. I don't play a lot of games because there just hasn't been much out. And to be fair, I really enjoy the Bard and the IIH practices, but the stuff at Violet Flame, the game footage that they're dropping, man, this stuff is next level slick, right? It's all based around the sort of the gameplay mechanics up, and so it's going to be also John, who's the CEO and the project sort of, well, he's the guy, right? The main guy. Man, I tell you what, he knows so much stuff. I've learned so much stuff from hanging out with this dude. He talks about keeping in-game functions economic. In other words, you don't want to overburden the game with too much stuff, because it'll slow it down, right? So recently Dragon's Dogma 2 dropped, and you can't, it's jerky even on a PS5. I mean, that's insane. That should not be like that. You have to have a high-end machine to really play these games, right? His game is going to be, well, it is, it's slick, and it's also, because he knows how to make it run economically, lower spec machines will be able to play this. And it's really exciting. It's got some pretty full-on, like, it's got some glorious brutality in it, but it's more like your character dies. And I have to say, you know, if you can get over that, you know, because it's a fun thing, you know, like, it's like once we drop the flesh body, you know, there's this thing about fear of death, but when you've got a metaphysical, you know, outlook that includes sort of reincarnation in your worldview, it can take a lot of pressure off. But I just wanted to say, please make sure that you go check out the Violet Flames website, because they've got heaps of new stuff on there. The Kickstarter's happening soon. And yeah, you know, like this is about, this game, or this studio is about essentially using the platform of gaming, which is huge, to bring about awareness of ancient knowledge from various traditions. And it's going to be fun, and it's going to be slick, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be more impressive than people are expecting. You know, we went through a whole stack of stuff on the Kickstarter, and some of it's pretty amazing, and some of it's not really, to be honest. And yet, they are collecting a lot of interest and a lot of income for these projects. So I can't see anything but success for the Ascension game. And I've had the pleasure, like I said, of playing through a bit of this, and my goodness, you know, as far as the level design goes, man, there are so many different ways to play. Like, it's a vertical maze essentially, and there's lots of like really cool hidden sort of like game control mechanics, like that won't be like, you'll have your basic kind of like, back forward, left, right, jump and all that, but there's all of these hidden things that you have to time correctly that will be very pleasantly surprising. And so a great example would be Deus Ex Mankind Divided, and that gave you, if you click things in a certain order in a certain space of time, you could do things that you would normally have to do other things to do, like go into a menu or something like that. So being able to do it all on the controller or on the keyboard, and you don't have to reach over here and that. These guys are really taking something to the next level here, and it's very exciting to see where this is going to go. And yeah, I'm really excited about that. Now, so anyway, like I've said, I'll just do a quick recap. I've uploaded. Oh, got another comment here. Oh, hello, Michael Austin. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, it's great to be live again. It's been a little bit of a break, and so I'll just do a quick recap. So coming up this month, books so far, I've got Dr. Richard Allen Miller on Saturday morning. This is all New Zealand time, so this will be the day before for the US, Friday afternoon. I've got Mark Stavish and Bob Smith. We're going to cover moral relativism. Oh my gosh, this is bound to incite some conversation, and essentially quantifying morality, objective morality. Well, we haven't actually spoken about objective morality. We're talking about we're going to just talk about moral relativism, because, like I said, a very famous YouTuber brought it up recently to the general public. So moral relativism has been introduced to the public ears, and so when these things happen, it's good to jump on them so people go, oh, what's this about? And they'll type it in, and then there'll be a discussion between myself, Bob, and Mark. And so also coming up, we've got that. So Mark and Bob, we're going to be doing that Monday on the 10th. Is it the 10th? Yeah, so what's today? 19th. So it's going to be the 12th, 12th, New Zealand time, at lunchtime. And then we've got the Barred In happening on the 18th, New Zealand time, the 17th for the rest of the world. And that I've got Clint Sabom and Philip Harris Smith booked for that, waiting on some others. Hopefully Bob will be there. And who else? Oh, and of course, man, Martin Fox. Oh my gosh! So that's a big one for the Barton community when Martin does an interview. In my view, that's just what I'll say. But anyway, I am going to disappear because I need to go and have some dinner. It's just about 6:20. And I've got to go and pick up some groceries from a good friend of mine who is very generous and very helpful. And I just want to say thank you again, everyone, for your generosity with subscribing, liking, and sharing, and also the things like the donations and the subscriptions on the Substack. Those are very, very helpful. Like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. Look, hey, I'll spend more time making this stuff, but the reality is that it's very time consuming. It's hard to be in front of a computer for long times. I'm expanding my capacities, but anything you guys can do that if there's a mutual exchange of value, there's a mutual exchange of value. And I am grateful and I appreciate you all. Have yourselves a beautiful. Hey, by the way, it's the 8th of the 8th of the 8th today. That's kind of fun, right? All right. Stay well, everybody. I appreciate you all. Stay well.